Hey family, this is Savannah Day. Welcome back to the channel and thank you. So today I'm gonna be talking about faith and salvation and of course reading scriptures. Gotta give us some scriptures. And yeah, that's what we talk about today. And so we're going to be we're going to be reading like a couple of different scriptures. So, and of course, I'll put them in the description box so you can go back and read for yourself and study them and all that good stuff. So you know that I'm not just on here telling you anything. Nobody's just telling you anything. You just go back and read and study for yourself. It's always is mentioned, you know. So, starting at Romans 10 and then verse 5, it says, this is Paul, the Apostle Paul writing, and he said, for Moses writes that the law's way of making a person right with God requires obedience to all of its commands. But faith's way of getting right with God says, don't say in your heart, who will go up to heaven to bring Christ down to earth? And don't say who will go down to the place of the dead to bring Christ back to life again. Now, it's basically saying that because when Jesus died and rose again, when he died, he said, it is finished. So it's not like God keep dying, you know. So if you go to John 19:28, it says, Jesus knew that his mission was now finished. And to fulfill scripture, he said, I am thirsty. A jar of sour wine was sitting there, so they soaked a sponge in it, put it in a hyssop branch, I believe that's what that says, and held it up to his lips. When Jesus tasted it, he said, it is finished. Then he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. So and of course, when he rose again, you know, he had to keep rising again. You know, he did everything once and for all for us. So then it's saying, Romans 10, back to 10, in verse 8, it says, in fact, the message is very close at hand. It is on your lips and in your heart. And that message is the very message about the faith we preach. If you openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. So I'll read that again. If you openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is by believing in your heart that you are made right with God, and it is by openly declaring your faith that you are saved. As the scripture tells us, anyone who trusts in him will never be disgraced. So it's about, believing and having faith that, Jesus died and he rose again. God raised him from the dead. And so, because I know there's a lot of messages out here, so we have to always back things up with scripture. So that's why it's extremely important in this hour. Well, of course, just any time, but especially in this hour, if you're gonna tell somebody something, you have to back it up with scripture about God. You can get your own opinion about other things and stuff like that, but we want to back stuff up with scripture. And so it's just, and it says even I read this from the New Living Translation, and it says salvation is for everyone. So, it's a free gift. We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to do nothing. You don't have to, there's nothing that we was able to do to earn it. Jesus dying, Jesus' blood, if we accept him, you are accepted into the family, God's family. You don't have to do all some extra stuff or that, you know, people are all here saying, or even if you can be the nicest person in the world, but if you don't believe, then what is that? It's about believing in Jesus. And because, like I always say, at the end of everything, we have to kind of start thinking about that too. At the end of it, we're all going to have to stand before Christ. So it's just more about, just accepting him and just accepting what he did for us and the love that was poured out. Who have you died for? Who have I died for? We still here, nobody. But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, he died for us, sacrificed his life and rose again so that we can have life. So, it's just wonderful. And it's an outpour of love that a lot of people ain't even gonna really do. I'm not gonna do that for you, for us, for me, anybody. So he did what nobody could do, and that's even in the scriptures. So, and then also, I want to read John 20, and it is John 20:11. It says, Mary was standing outside the tomb crying, and as she wept, she stopped and looked in, and she saw two white-robed angels, one sitting at the head and the other standing at the foot, the place where the body of Jesus had been lying. Dear woman, why are you crying? The angels asked her. Because they have taken away my Lord, she replied, and I don't know where they have put him. She turned to leave and saw someone standing there. It was Jesus, but she didn't recognize him. Dear woman, why are you crying? Jesus asked her. Who are you looking for? Because he already got it. He like, who, why are you still going over there? Who are you looking for? I'm not there no more. So she thought that he was a gardener. Sir, she said, if you have taken him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will go and get him. Mary, Jesus said. She turned to him and she cried out, Rabboni? I think Rabboni, which is Hebrew for teacher. Don't cling to me, Jesus said, for I have yet ascended to the Father. But go and find my brothers and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and to your Father, to my God and to your God. Mary Magdalene found the disciples and told them, I have seen the Lord. Then she gave them this message. So that was, him getting up and talking to her. And then, he's telling her, I'm going to the Father. So it's just all about, you believe in this. It's in the scriptures. So do you believe it or you don't? You do, I do or I don't. So hopefully this can inspire someone, and that's what it's all about, our faith and believing that Jesus died and rose again, and he's seated at the right hand of the Father, and he loves us, and he wants us to come back, and it's everything what the scriptures say. So hopefully this inspires someone, and no one is too far away to come to him. No one is ever too broken. He specializes in broken people. You read through the scriptures, and that's what helped me too, is like me reading through the scriptures in my most broken, hurt seasons, and seeing how like God he healed them. He sat with people that nobody wanted to deal with. He loved everybody. He loved people that nobody wanted to love. He was around. He had dinner. He went to people's houses that nobody wanted to go visit. Just all of these wonderful, if you read this, all these wonderful scriptures that you read how Jesus actually is. And, you know, he's the same way for us too. You know, they're no better than us. There's no better than you. They're no better than me. What he offered them, he offered us too. So it's just all about you believing this and putting your faith in him. And when you do, you know, the scriptures say you're not going to be discouraged. You're not going to be disappointed. I'm not disappointed because, like I said, you know, you can go out here looking for love and all of that, but when you put your full trust in God and what he did, and know that him being seated at the right hand of the Father is about your faith, and that's all you really need. And he'll be able to lift you up out of any situation in your darkest hour, your loneliest hour, your depressed hour, your saddest, if whatever the case may be. And yeah, and just believe in that. He died for you. Like, he died for you. He died for everybody. And you're never too far away. Nothing that you can do will take his love away. So hopefully that this encourages you guys and inspire you, and have a blessed day.